Week 10 is here, and as always, we love to bring you our top 4 quarterbacks to start and 2 quarterbacks to sit. As always, you're going to be starting your Josh Allen, your Patrick Mahomes, your Lamar Jackson, etc., etc. We're trying to bring you these guys. Maybe if you're in a super flex league that you're questionable starting because of the situation, the matchup, etc., etc. Teams on bye: Ravens, Bengals, Patriots, and Jets. So make sure you take those guys out of your lineup. And let's get straight into the video. My first start quarterback this week is Andy Dalton versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers currently give up the 3rd most fantasy points to the quarterback position. And Andy Dalton has been an up and down. Obviously, he's been named the starter. So just keep this in mind. If it is going to be Jameis Winston or whatever the case may be, start whichever one is going to be the starter this week. Right? I do believe this is going to be a good matchup for either quarterback that is playing. Once again, the Steelers give up the 3rd most fantasy points to the quarterback position. Andy Dalton just played the Baltimore Ravens on Monday Night Football, only had 13 fantasy points, threw a touchdown and an interception, has been up and down, but he is playing the Steelers, and the Steelers are just coming off a bye week, and the last team they played was the Philadelphia Eagles, who just went off on them. Jalen Hurts had over 36 fantasy points, had 4 touchdowns. Can Andy Dalton do that? Probably not. But if he can get, throw 2 touchdowns, maybe get you 18 to 22 fantasy points, I think that will be a solid option if you are in need of a quarterback or you just need a guy to pick up and plug and play. So start Andy Dalton with confidence. And my second must-start quarterback this week is Trevor Lawrence versus the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs currently give up the 8th most fantasy points to the quarterback position. Trevor Lawrence has been doing his thing. He's been a bit up and down sometimes, but he's been giving you a consistent 20 points through week 9. No, from weeks 1 to 9, he's been averaging 20.1 fantasy points each week. So if you guys can go and get Trevor Lawrence, and maybe he's available in the waiver wires if you need to plug and play him, I think that is fantastic play. The Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes have been giving up a lot of points to the quarterback position. Once again, the 8th most fantasy points to the quarterback position. The last team they played were the Titans, and it was Malik Willis, which was only his 2nd game. So he didn't really throw the ball. They kind of relied on Derrick Henry. But the last team that did play him that had a competent quarterback was Jimmy G, and he had over 21 fantasy points. So I think Trevor Lawrence can get you in that range if you do need a super flex option going into week 10. So start Trevor Lawrence with confidence. And my third must-start quarterback this week is Jacoby Brissett versus the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins currently give up the most fantasy points to the quarterback position. Right? They just gave Justin Fields over 48 fantasy points. Obviously, he did that on the ground with his legs, not necessarily with his arms. He did throw 3 touchdowns, but he had 123 yards in the air. A more realistic thought process, though, Jared Goff in week 8 played the Miami Dolphins, had 321 yards in the air and a touchdown, had over 20 fantasy points. So that feels a little bit more realistic. I think that's exactly what Jacoby Brissett can do. So if you have Jacoby Brissett and if you need a plug and play in a super flex position, start Jacoby Brissett with some confidence. And my last must-start quarterback this week is Marcus Mariota versus the Carolina Panthers on Thursday night. The Panthers currently give up the 15 most points to the quarterback position. So the middle of the pack, right? I think we just have to go back to what Marcus Mariota did against the Carolina Panthers in week 8. Week 8, threw 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, over 30 fantasy points. Remember that game went into overtime, crazy DJ Moore catch, all this other stuff happening. They get Cordell Patterson back. So I think this could be another game where maybe he can get, 20 to 28 fantasy points, which would be really good if you do need a quarterback in a super flex position due to the bye weeks. I think this is a perfect opportunity if you need a quarterback. So get Mariota, start him with confidence, and let's see what happens. As always, we have to bring you our must-sit quarterbacks of each and every week. And my first must-sit quarterback this week is Taylor Heinicke versus the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles currently give up the 2nd fewest amount of points to the quarterback position. And Taylor Heinicke versus the Eagles at Philly, it is a divisional game. Anything can happen. But I think, this Eagles team knows how to handle the Washington football team, or Washington Commanders, excuse me. Taylor Heinicke has been up and down. I don't think I want to start him at all. If you need a quarterback position, I think there's so many other options there. Daniel Jones, Jacoby Brissett earlier in the video, Trevor Lawrence, Andy Dalton. You just want to avoid especially someone like Taylor Heinicke playing the Philadelphia Eagles, and they're going to throw interceptions. He's going to get sacked. They're going to be struggling, especially with Terry and Curtis Samuel there in this defense. for the Philadelphia Eagles is just going to be bullying the Washington team. So just sit Taylor Heineke if you have him. And my second must-sit quarterback this week is Ryan Tannehill versus the Denver Broncos. The Broncos currently give up the least amount of points to the quarterback position. And you tell me, once again, who can Ryan Tannehill throw to? Is Treylon Burks going to be back? We don't know. Is Robert Woods going to be there and help him? Nikiti Westbrook? It's just, there's no one there I can trust for Ryan Tannehill to throw the ball and have a competent play, right? Maybe he does some dump-off passes to Derrick Henry, but you can't rely on that. So I'm just trying to avoid anyone outside of Derrick Henry on that Titans team. So sit Ryan Tannehill if you have him. As always, guys, we like to say good luck and do what you got to do to win and make it to the championship. Try and make trades. There's still some time. You got a couple more weeks. Hopefully your trade deadline didn't pass for your league. There's still some time. There's still a little bit of time, not that much. You got to grind. You got to grind it out and do what you got to do to get to the championship at the end of the year. Make sure you comment down below with any fantasy start sit questions that you have. We also go live 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to answer all of your fantasy start questions of each and every week. And good luck in week 10.
Yo, what's good? Thanks for watching. We got a lot more videos.
A lot more.
If you want more videos,
watch it.
You can also subscribe
right now
if you want to.
You need to.
And lastly, don't forget that you can sign up to support the show and get exclusive content by going to patreon.com/FantasyLand fam.